Hello, everyone. I am Renowned Zero, and today we're going to be talking about Daniel Radcliffe speaking out against J.K. Rowling and how it's so important for him to do this. Meanwhile, his whole career is because of her. And for people that are saying that this man is based for what he is saying in this article, you do not know what that actually means. Typically, when you talk about being based, you're talking about factual statements. And some of the stuff he says here are not factual statements. What this man fails to realize is that literally all J.K. Rowling has ever said was that biologically a man cannot be a woman and a woman cannot be a man. And that biology exists is basically what she said. This is what led to this whole she's a foe or whatever. It's basically stating factual statements. Because this is what weirdos in Hollywood and weirdos on Twitter have come to. Calling you all the names in the book because you state literal facts. But this just came out today. We're going to talk about it. Before we get started, I'll just say, be sure to hit the like button if you liked the video. Comment below what you think about this. Subscribe for more content. We're going to jump right into this. Variety article saying Daniel Radcliffe says speaking out against J.K. Rowling was important. Not everybody in the franchise shares her beliefs. So here's the thing. You're able to not have the same beliefs as everyone else. You don't have to be in an echo chamber. Literally, you can have your own individual thoughts. But for you to say this, you're probably just saying it because you don't want to be canceled by the woke mob on Twitter for stating that J.K. Rowling is actually correct when she says biology is real, women are this, men are this, women cannot be men, men cannot be women. It has nothing to do with not liking trans people. It's just stating biological facts about men and women. But again, people in Hollywood are in an echo chamber and they think you can't go against the grain or you'll be blacklisted. And not see people like Daniel Radcliffe don't have the balls like Gina Carano did when she spoke out against the nonsense in Hollywood. But I digress. Let's get into it. At the height of the backlash against J.K. Rowling over her views on the transgender community, Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe published an open letter in which he proclaimed transgender women are women. This is why I say you're not based. Because that is an infactual statement. That is not a factual statement. Transgender women are men. Anyway, in a new interview with IndieWire, Radcliffe opened up about why he decided to speak out publicly against the author, who essentially gave him his acting career, which is 100% correct. Nobody would know who you are, Daniel Radcliffe, without J.K. Rowling. People knew who J.K. Rowling was before Harry Potter movies were a thing. No one knew who the fuck you were before J.K. Rowling chose to pick you to play Harry Potter. And now after you're done with Harry Potter, no one actually gives a fuck about you. You've become irrelevant after Harry Potter. What are you doing now? You're doing a Weird Al biopsy, essentially, a documentary of Weird Al. What a transition from Harry Potter to that. Wow. Quote, the reason I felt very, very much as though I needed to say something when I did was because particularly since finishing Potter, I've met so many queer and trans kids. No, you haven't. You found brainwashed kids by parents. That's what you found. Kids don't know what they are. They're kids. That's the reason they require guidance from parents to get through life. And young people who have had a huge amount of identification with Potter on that, Radcliffe said. And so seeing them hurt on that day, I was like, I wanted them to know that not everybody in the franchise felt that way, and that was very, really important. Yeah, because no one actually knows who you are. Once again, you're going into this ideology of there's such a thing as queer and trans kids, which there are not. Radcliffe published his letter on the Trevor Project's website. The group is a nonprofit organization that focuses on self-harm prevention efforts in the alphabet community. Quote, it was really important as I've worked with the Trevor Project for more than 10 years, and so I don't think I would have been able to look at myself in the mirror had I not said anything, Radcliffe added, but it's not mine to guess what's going on in someone else's head. Backlash against Rowling erupted in June 2020 when she posted a series of comments on Twitter in which she argued that discussing gender identity negates biological sex. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. The author wrote, if sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives, which is basically, in layman's terms, biology exists. Removing sex, apparently, because according to Weirdo Twitter, it's a social construct, which it's not. Sex and gender are mononymous. They go together. If you're a man, you're a male. If you're a woman, you're a female. That's it. There's no in between and nothing around that. Rowling continued to double down on her position in the years that followed. Transgender women are women, Radcliffe wrote in his open letter, which is an incorrect statement. Factually incorrect. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associations who have far more expertise on subject matter than either Joe or I. Again, you don't need to be a scientist, you don't need to be a biologist to understand basic biology. We learned this in high school, bud. According to you, apparently you didn't go to school and learn these simple things because clearly you're dumb. Radcliffe added, to all the people who now feel that the experience of the Harry Potter books has been tarnished or diminished, I'm deeply sorry for the pain these comments have caused you. I really hope that you don't entirely lose what was valuable in these stories to you. So you're apologizing to like a very minuscule population? That's what you're doing because you're dumb, like I said. You have no thoughts of your own. You have no diversity of thought. The only thoughts you have are the same NPC talking points that they use in Hollywood. Anyway, several other Harry Potter actors spoke out against Rowling's beliefs following Radcliffe's letter. Most recently, Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in the film series, distanced the franchise from Rowling. See, this is a misconception. They only took out portions of the interview that they wanted you to see. Like saying, he's pro-choice, pro-discussion, pro-human rights across the board, pro-love or whatever. But they didn't actually say the part where he doesn't really make an option, an opinion, because he hasn't heard everything. And that talking about how people can have different opinions from each other. And we shouldn't, disown people because they have different opinions. But, again, the variety fails to have that in there. Because, we got to remove context always. All the time. We always have to remove context. So, you can see it right here. Asked by The Independent earlier this month for his thoughts on the recent questioning of transgender politics, Draco Malfoy Tom felt the process. First of all, I don't know enough about the specifics of what anyone said. My doc takes up far too much time for me to go into such matters, said Flash CW actor. I mean, the obvious things to say are that I'm pro-choice, pro-discussion, pro-human rights, across pro-love. Anything that is not those things, I don't really have much time for. Similarly, praising that the author's works transcend ages and backgrounds, Felton admitted, honestly, with my friends, we all have differing opinions on various matters and we celebrate our own choices. We certainly don't take any pleasure in putting crosshairs on people that may have said things that we disagree with, because this is what people, like articles like Variety does. They take out snippets. They take out snippets of what somebody said and they try to spin it like it's something different. But here's the real context of what he actually said. Here's the full, part of the context of what he actually said. So that the way you get the full context, not the bullshit that Variety wants to spit. Though Rowling has been accused of being anti-transgender, the author clarified in December of 2021 that she never said there are only two genders, which there are. There's only two genders. There's nothing else. Y'all want to be all trust the science. Y'all don't even trust the science that there's only two genders. Rather question the importance given to making transgender individuals feel accepted in a given space over the safety of biological women, which she constantly talks about how transgender women should not be in a bathroom. Someone who is a biological male should not be in a bathroom with a biological woman. And we've had various instances where this has gone terribly wrong when this happened. So we don't need it to happen. She's basically standing up for women's rights. She's an actual person that stands up for women's rights, unlike these fake-ass male feminists that claim to do these things. But you can also see right here that the guy who played Voldemort had the same type of opinion as J.K. Rowling. She's not some uber right-wing-ist. She's just a woman who wants to be able to say, I'm a woman. It's like, This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy is actually based. Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and the kid that played Ron Weasley are not based. Rupert Grint is his name. They are not based. They're based in delusion. If you want to say they're based in delusion, okay, we can go with that. They're not based in reality, though. They're definitely based in delusion. They live in a fantasy world. They still live in a Harry Potter type of fantasy world, where apparently there's such a thing as queer and trans kids, which there are not. Kids are sponges. They literally absorb anything they see, and they imitate what adults do. That's why they need guidance from adults. And if you want to sit here and guide a kid and say that they can be the opposite gender, I am sorry, but you are a groomer. Point blank, period. You are a groomer. I don't give a fuck who this offends. And if it does offend you, you're probably a groomer. Because we're supposed to protect the innocence of children, of people who don't know completely right from wrong or what the world is like. And you're out here telling them they can be something that they're not. You're just a weirdo for doing that, and you're a groomer. Sorry, but you are. But I think I've ranted long enough about this. Thank you all for checking out this video. I appreciate you for being here. Appreciate all the new subscribers. If you did like the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, that's okay too. Comment below what you think about all this. Subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I will see you all on the next one. Peace.